The rules for what you can and can't bring in your carry-on are a constantly changing minefield, depending on which country you're traveling in or which airline you're flying with. Getting it wrong could literally get you rejected at security and ruin your trip before it even starts. So in this video, I'm breaking down 5 important things you need to know about what you should and shouldn't pack in your carry-on in 2025. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff like weapons and mace spray everyone already knows. Instead, I'm covering the latest updates and things that have recently changed you probably don't know about. Plus, I'm also busting some major myths about carry-on rules that some so-called advice videos out there are lying to travelers about. Okay, let's talk about the most common carry-on headache: liquids. If you're in North America, you're probably familiar with the 311 rule, or the 100 milliliter rule just about everywhere else. But for 2025, there are some important changes and surprising new rules you need to know about. So let's walk through what's allowed, what's banned, and talk about how the rule is about to dramatically change in the UK and Europe. As a quick reminder, the 311 rule means you can bring liquids, aerosols, gels, creams, and pastes in your carry-on, but they must be in containers that are 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters or less. All of those containers have to fit comfortably inside a single 1 quart-sized clear plastic zip-top bag, and you're only allowed one of those bags per traveler. Something a lot of travelers get wrong is the rule applies to the container size, not the amount inside. So, for example, even if your full-size tube of toothpaste is only half full, it still won't be allowed if the original container was over the 100 milliliter or 3.4 ounce limit. Now, before you panic and start tossing out all of your larger liquids, there are some really important exceptions to the 311 rule. This is a total lifesaver for so many travelers. The big exceptions you need to know about are for medically necessary items and prescription medications, and I'll cover more on all of that in just a moment. Another important exception if you're traveling with little ones are items like breast milk, baby formula, and juice boxes are all allowed in larger amounts. The same rules apply in North America, Europe, and the UK. Now, here's the most important part. If any of these items are larger than 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters, you have to declare them at security. Just take them out of your bag and put them in a separate bin for inspection. It's a quick process, but it's always smart to budget a few extra minutes at the checkpoint just in case. But none of that is new. So what's changed for 2025? Well, there's some big changes coming to liquids rules in the UK and Europe. Starting this summer, airports with advanced CT scanners including Berlin, Rome, Amsterdam, Edinburgh, and Milan will allow passengers to carry liquids like toiletries, olive oil, and alcohol in containers of up to 2 liters, with more airports expected to follow soon. But there's a catch: this isn't universal yet. So while more airports will adopt these changes over time, for a while it's likely you'll still have to deal with the old rules on one leg of your flight. Not ideal, especially if you're taking multiple flights. So the best advice is to check the current rules from both your departing and return airports before you travel. Naturally, there are some liquids you're not permitted to travel with in your carry-on luggage. These include flammable liquids like lighter fluid, toxic substances, aerosols over 100 milliliters, self-defense sprays like mace, or even high-proof alcohol. These rules do vary a little between North America, Europe, and other parts of the world, so make sure to check country-specific rules. Okay, let's talk about flying with medication. It seems simple, but if you don't know the rules, it can get complicated fast. I'm going to break down the most important things you need to know to make sure your meds arrive safe and you get through security stress-free. First, and this is the most important rule, never, ever put critical medication in your checked baggage. I'm talking about anything life-saving, like insulin or chemo pills. Checked bags get lost, they get delayed, and they get exposed to extreme temperatures. It's just not worth the risk. Always keep your essential medications, along with any documents, right with you in your carry-on. If you have meds that need to be kept cool, invest in a TSA-compliant cooler pouch with reusable gel packs. Second, let's go back to the liquid rules. Remember, the 311 rule has an exception for medically necessary liquids, gels, and aerosols. That's a huge relief, but you can't just throw them in your bag. You must declare them to the security officer before your bag goes on the belt. Just pull them out in a separate bin. It's also a great idea to keep them in their original labeled containers or have a photo of your prescription on your phone, just in case an officer asks for proof. Third, if you're traveling with medical devices or injectables, you need to be a little more vocal. Things like insulin pens, EpiPens, and syringes are all allowed, but you need to take them out of your bag and tell the officer what they are. The same goes for larger devices like CPAP machines. You're now required to remove them from their case and put them in a bin. just like a laptop. Being upfront and prepared makes the whole process so much faster. And finally, if you're flying internationally, Do your homework. Some countries have completely different rules and may even ban medications that are perfectly legal where you're traveling from. For example, in Japan, common over-the-counter medications like Sudafed or prescription medications like Adderall are illegal. Always check the embassy website of your destination beforehand to avoid a serious issue. By following these rules, you can make sure your health is the last thing you have to worry about on your trip. If you're finding this video useful so far, don't forget to subscribe so it gets shared with more travelers like you. And if watching videos like this, and this are your kind of adventure, why not check out my channel for more travel tips and amazing places to visit? You've probably seen viral videos like these popping up everywhere. Claiming a new universal carry-on size for 2025 means your bag is suddenly too big. And while all those copycat AI-generated videos are racking up the views, a lot of what they're saying is flat out wrong. So let's break down the facts and figure out exactly what you need to know. Most airlines actually allow you to take 2 items into the cabin, what they call a personal item that has to fit under the seat. And then there's your carry-on, which would typically go in the overhead locker. Both are normally subject to some kind of size restriction. And despite what these other videos claim, the truth is, there is absolutely no single universal carry-on standard size. And there's definitely no new rule that's going to suddenly make your carry-on bag obsolete. The information they're giving you is simply not correct. What does matter are the specific rules of the airline you're flying with. So as of right now, whether you're flying in North America, Europe, the UK, or anywhere else in the world, to figure out what your carry-on size allowance is for your next flight, you need to go to that specific airline's website and then check under their carry-on size allowances. One thing worth noting though is carry-on sizes in Europe are typically a bit smaller than allowed by US domestic airlines and also often come with a maximum weight restriction, somewhere between 7 and 10 kilograms. So if you're traveling from the US to Europe, this is something to be aware of. So you need to check carefully for the rules for the specific airlines you're planning to fly with. Now, what is true is airlines are becoming stricter on checking carry-on sizes, and it's more and more common to see bag size checkers at the boarding gates and charging passengers a fee if they're too big. It's particularly an issue if you're flying with budget airlines, and I've certainly been victim of this myself a few times. While the airlines say this is partly to try and speed up the boarding process, more likely than not, it's to squeeze a few more dollars or euros out of passengers. So once again, make sure you check the specific rules and requirements of the airline you're flying with to make sure you don't get any unwelcome surprises before you board your flight. And hot off the press, there's some great news for anyone flying in Europe. The days of having to pay extra fees for your carry-on bag might be coming to an end. In June, the EU officially backed proposals to let you bring a small carry-on bag up to 7 kilograms on board for free, even on those sneaky budget airlines. The new rule would ensure cabin bags up to 100 centimeters, plus a personal item with a minimum size of 40 by 30 by 15 centimeters are included with the price of your ticket. Now, the deal's not finalized yet, but this is a massive win for all of us travelers, so keep an eye on this space. Okay, we've talked about what you can bring, but now let's talk about the items that will get you a one-way ticket to a secondary screening, or worse, a confiscated bag. It's time to talk about the absolute no-go items, and some surprising ones that get travelers every single time. First, let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. These are the things that are a firm no for both your carry-on and your checked luggage, including firearms, sharp objects like knives or scissors, flammable liquids, toxic substances, and fireworks. Basically, if it can go bang or harm someone, it's not coming with you. Now, for the stuff that's not so obvious. Items that are a major source of confusion for travelers every year. You'd think that foods like peanut butter, hummus, or creamy spreads would be fine, but airport security treats them as a liquid if they can be spread. So if you're bringing that delicious hummus on board, make sure it's under the 3.4 ounce limit. The same goes for powders. While baby formula and protein powder are generally fine, any other powder-like substance over 12 ounces needs to be checked, as they might require extra screening. Also, leave your self-defense or bear sprays at home. They are completely prohibited from both your carry-on and your checked bags. Finally, let's also mention items you cannot put in your checked luggage and must be in your carry-on for safety reasons. This is one of the most important rules to get right. The biggest one here is lithium-ion batteries and power banks. The risk of these catching fire is low, but if it happens in the cargo hold, nobody can get to it. So your power banks, portable chargers, and loose lithium batteries for things like cameras or drones must be in your carry-on at all times. For power banks, the general rule is that anything under 100 watt-hours is allowed, and anything up to 160 watt-hours will probably require airline approval. Anything over that is completely banned from all flights. But some airlines now require passengers to keep power banks in their personal underseat carry-on item due to concerns about overheating if they're stored in overhead bins. And others are banning their use in flight altogether. So, check with your airline before your flight if you plan to travel with these items. The same also applies to smart luggage that have things like built-in power banks, charging ports, and GPS tracking. The built-in batteries must be removable, so if your bag has a battery that cannot be taken out, it will not be allowed on board. Another thing that must go in your carry-on is electronic cigarettes and vaping devices. These also contain lithium batteries, so they pose the same fire risk in the cargo hold. Don't get caught leaving these in your checked bag. And lastly, like I've already mentioned, it's highly recommended that you keep any critical or life-saving medications, valuable items, cash, and important documents with you in your carry-on. You don't want to risk your checked luggage getting stolen or lost, or having your medication unavailable if you suddenly need it mid-flight. Trust me, you'll feel a lot better knowing those are with you the whole time. Okay, we've covered the rules and what to avoid. But now for the fun part, the smart packing hacks that will actually save you money and make your entire trip so much smoother. First on my list is those ridiculously expensive travel-sized toiletries. Don't buy them. Instead, grab some TSA-compliant refillable silicone containers and just fill them with your favorite products from home. It's cheaper, more eco-friendly, and you're not stuck with a product you don't even like. And of course, check to see what your hotel or resort provides first, because you might not even need to pack any at all. Another thing experienced travelers never pack in their carry-on is a towel. They take up a massive amount of space in your bag, and they're almost always available at your hotel or resort. Many even have beach towels you can borrow. Just check before you go. If you absolutely have to have one, you can buy a cheap one when you get there and leave it behind. Now this one might be a bit controversial, but leave the travel neck pillow at home. They're bulky, they're a pain to carry around, and they only serve one purpose, the flight. For the rest of your trip, you're just stuck lugging it around with you, looking like a tourist. Honestly, trust me on this one. Another item I never bother to travel with these days are region-specific mobile phone SIM cards. Constantly having to find and then fiddle with tiny local SIM cards in every new country is just such a hassle. This is where using an eSIM is an absolute travel game changer. I wish I'd known about years ago. You can often buy and set these up digitally before you even leave home, or right when you arrive. This gives you instant data access without needing a physical card swap. And like local SIMs, they're way more cost-effective than relying on roaming for reliable data while you're out and about exploring. And if you're looking for a fantastic eSIM option, I recently checked out Saily. One of the biggest advantages of using an eSIM like Saily is the sheer convenience. No hunting for physical SIM cards or swapping anything out. You can easily buy your plan online before you even leave home, activate it digitally, and you've got affordable data as soon as you land, completely bypassing those scary roaming charges. They've got various plans too, so you can pick one that perfectly fits your trip length and data needs. You can find a link to Saily with more details and maybe a special offer in the video description below. So those are the carry-on rules and smart packing hacks you need to know for 2025. But knowing all the rules in the world won't matter if you get caught out by these other surprise security changes which could get you denied at the gate. To make sure that doesn't happen, you're going to want to watch this video next. With that said, don't forget to subscribe for more travel tips and advice, and I'll see you next time.